good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you're tuning in from. We have a very interesting topic to chat about today. It's a topic that many of us probably have inklings of from time to time. A topic that a lot of times is hard to admit when you have it, but a topic that I guarantee if you have is massively, massively slowing you down and keeping you from actually achieving what you want. And the topic today is something that's so important because it sneaks up on you. And when it first starts, it feels like it's radically and totally justified. It feels like it's the truth. It feels like, oh my gosh, I can't believe everyone else doesn't see it this way. I can't believe everyone else isn't in the same position I am on this topic. But the truth is, when we start to dig underneath it, when we start to get down to the real truth, when we start to get, a little bit of an elevated perspective, all of a sudden we realize, ooh, maybe it was a little green-eyed monster that kind of snuck under our skin on this one. Maybe it was a little teeny bit of jealousy that snuck in there. And the topic is, 10 tips to release jealousy from your life. And so I know many of you out there have probably never had this experience. You never once felt jealous of another person. You never once felt jealous of another business owner. You never once felt jealous of a competitor or someone in your space. You never once felt jealous of someone your loved one was talking to. Never, ever. I know you guys out there never struggle with that, but I have. Not the funnest thing to admit in the world. But when it happens, I sat down and I said, what's 10 tips that could actually really help people through this moment if they happen to run across one? And so tip number 1, we need some contrast. I found myself in a moment observing, this is in business, somebody who's in a similar business as I am in some way, shape, or form, and I've watched them massively succeed. And all of a sudden just sprout, take off, and be like, wow, look at them go. And for the first couple minutes, it's like, wow, how exciting, how cool, good for them. And then after a little bit, something kind of sneaks under the skin and you start to feel like, well, wait a minute, are they really that good? Are they really in it for the right reasons? And you start to feel this little bit of jealousy. And I found this really silly tactic tends to work really well. At least they're not a Colombian drug lord who's, aggressively hurting and killing people. Because there's something where you start to question the intent of what they're really up to. And when you compare it to something that's wildly in contrast, and that might not be the right comparison, but when you compare it, you realize, oh my gosh, they are a good person. They are trying to do good in the world. That's just their way to do it. Whew. Well, that feels better. That doesn't make it completely go away, but it starts to recalibrate what's true. I have a friend who made a video calling out someone else in our industry saying, oh my gosh, they're such a horrible person. Now, the truth is they're a great person actually doing really good things in the world, and that little bit of jealousy is causing the brain to pigeonhole them and cut them off and make them as if they're a horrible human. In reality, they're not. They're a great person doing great things. They're just doing it in a way that probably some of us other people wouldn't do it. And therefore, we need that contrast. They are a good person doing good things. They're just not doing it the way I would do it. Number 2, we need to immediately train our brain to look for 5 to 10 things that we really, truly, and actually appreciate about them. 5 to 10 things that we really appreciate about them. I don't know if you guys can hear this rain, but it is amazing right now. It's very loud on my side. So 5 to 10 things we appreciate about them. Number 3, realize it's the unclaimed part of ourselves that we're actually upset about. And this is fascinating. Sometimes we see people doing something and we judge ourselves. We don't like that weakness or that part of ourselves, and therefore we see it in them and we go, oh, that's evil, that's bad, that's horrible, that's wrong, that's not right. And because we have such a deep judgment in our own nervous system about ourselves, we take it out on them. So number 3, realize it can be an unclaimed or unowned part of ourselves. Number 4, realize the only person suffering in you being upset or frustrated with them is you. You're the one who experiences the chemicals in your body. You're the one experiencing the frustration. You're the one experiencing the pain or the angst or your mind getting taken over in upset or jealousy or rage. And realize they're not feeling any of that. So you're the only one suffering in this moment, and choose not to suffer. Choose not to be in that place. Number 5, a mentor of mine said this. I remember someone asked me about someone, and I described them because of frustration in a very harsh way. And they pulled me aside and they said, I need to tell you something. Someone taught me this a long time ago. How you speak about other people tells more about who you are than they are. Because if you can't see the good in them, if you can't see what's right with them, if you can't see what's positive about them, that means the filter you look through only allows you to see what's wrong, what's not right, what's missing, what's bad about other people, which means ultimately that's how you see yourself all day, which means you're probably not the person I want to be hanging around all the time if that's all you see in everyone and everything, including yourself in life. So you need to learn to see what's great about them, and it speaks a lot about who you are if that's all you can say about this person. Number 6, this is what we were talking about. The same critic that judges them is the one that judges you all day. And this is what really hurts. When I sit down and I listen to people judge the hell out of someone else, I go, wow, I would hate to have to live in their head all day. Because that little judge that's constantly tearing down other people around them is tearing down themselves all day. And if someone walked around just criticizing the shit out of me all day, I could only imagine how small that would make me feel as a human. And therefore, they don't feel like they are enough. They don't feel like they're loved enough. They don't feel like they have enough. And so they're constantly attacking other people just to try to feel okay about themselves. And that sucks. So they might want to work on that inner critic, and all of a sudden, if they can start to see the good in their own life, they might start seeing the good in other people as well. Number 7, if you find yourself that critical about yourself and other people, you need to take a detox. You need to create space. You need to disconnect and refuel. You need to go somewhere and go do something that allows you to get back to your best self. You need to go get lots of sleep, eat healthy, take a vacation, spend some time with people you love, go do something you love, go volunteer, go help other people, go do something to refuel your mind, body, and spirit and elevate you from the animal inside of you that's in fight or flight, thinking it's a zero-sum game, that it's either me or them, and that's it. Back to the spirit of you that realizes we can all win together if we can really truly be our best selves and give our best every day and support each other and help each other. Number 8, you need to discover your hidden or deep desires that's really causing the frustration. There's some part of what they're doing that you want that you're not allowing yourself to have, or you're making wrong or bad, or you just don't know how to get it. And therefore you're judging the tar out of them because you haven't figured out how to get it. Realize it's a desire and set a goal to go make it happen instead of judging them over it. Number 9, you need to sit down and count your blessings and focus on what's beautiful and what's amazing in your life instead of what's missing and what's wrong with your life. So often we're staring 10 feet into the future thinking, man, if I could only get there, then everything would be perfect. And the reality is, if you looked at your life under a microscope and compared it to the rest of the world, you'd be blown away how well you're actually doing, even in moments of struggle. And therefore, we need to count our blessings. Number 10, you need to celebrate your wins and celebrate the wins of others. That final piece is you need to sit down and realize there's so many good things going on in your life, and you need to take time to actually celebrate them, actually acknowledge yourself for them. Then you need to take that same habit of acknowledging the greatness in you, and you need to turn around and go look at that other person you were judging the shit out of, and instead choose to acknowledge the greatness in them as well. So 10 tips to get out of jealousy, 10 tips to get back to your best self, 10 tips to release that green-eyed, rage, jealous monster from inside and get rid of them so you can get back to a great place and focus on building instead of tearing everyone else down. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is useful. My goodness, share it with someone who needs it, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another chat. Tomorrow's chat is on money. It's a good one.